Hey guys, this is Nostalgia Comanche with another video. I wanted to share with you my Takemiazuchi build that I took to Mesquite's Regionals that happened on October 5th. I ended up getting second place. I should have won. I definitely made a mistake. I'll explain my matchups and what happened in those matchups. But I decided to take Takemiazuchi because it's always a deck I really like the art. I've always enjoyed the play style of it. It's very control-y, but it could OTK, so it kind of reminds me of like old school Melga. And what else? I just never took it to regionals though. Always never felt confident. I took it to a couple case tournaments. I've won case tournaments with it. I've won multiple times locals with it. I just never felt confident enough to take it to regionals. I don't know why. Or even an Ultimate Cup. I never took it to an Ultimate Cup. So I remember having everything for the deck, max rarity, and then I just sold it. Yeah, I even had like the gold Takes, and I just got rid of them. I got rid of the whole deck, and then I had max rarity Imperial. I played that for BT16, and I played it for a little bit for one tournament, which was the Bandai Fest. And I just didn't like playing the mirror match. I felt the mirror match was very lucky. It really came down to whoever drew what, and like pretty much whoever drew better. But you could definitely tell who was the better the better Imperialdramon player in the mirror match if you're capable of playing out of bad hands. And I'm trying to think what else. I just didn't. There's just so many changes that you have to make with Imperial. So number one, the mirror match. I didn't like that. It came down to luck. Two, Shoto, Mother Shoto is the deck. I think a lot of people are going to be playing it, and so I just decided not to play because I think you just automatically lose if you don't have the Hexablows. And I did want to put Hexablow into my build. Is just finding the piece. I mean, pretty much finding space in that deck for certain cards. The deck's very tight. It's very difficult for you to find space. Same thing like with Fenrir. There's like some card choices you could change out. To your favorite to your playstyle. That's kind of what I did. I looked at a lot of people that topped with the build, and I decided to just implement like how I like the deck, how it looks, or was certain cards that I think are very good for the deck. I prioritized. But let's get straight to the deck profile. I play 4 Balmon. Balmon's pretty much effect is whenever you discard a Dark Animal or a Sock, you pretty much could Digivolve into that. This Digimon could Digivolve into that Digimon. That's the inherited effect. We play 4 of those. Only egg that you gotta play. Then we play BT14 Loogamon. Lugamon's effect, start a turn, you could tuck an AG under to gain a memory. And then its inherited effect is whenever you play a sock or a dark animal out, you gain a memory. For this, just because it helps get your memory setter in place, you can pretty much tuck it under. Or you could go or you could go Hell Luga, pop it before end of turn triggers. You trigger the EG to come out, so you gain a memory, and then you can pretty much gain back turn if you have analog. You have some analog youths. But yeah, anyways, play 4 of this. This is the best Lugamon. This is the one where people were talking to me about it, why I played 3 when I should have just been playing 2 and then 4 Uko. I actually agree with them. I know I did a video with somebody and I was like, oh yeah, I actually like this at 3. Looking back at it, this at 2 would have been better, and then having the 4 Uko would have been better just because I think it would have made my deck more consistent than it already is right now, in my opinion. But 2 Lugamon is 1 attacking, you get to pitch a card, and you'll pop a 3k or less, and then if it has a sock Tamer under, then you pretty much gain you draw a card. Essentially with this card, if you have Skull Belushi, you could go into a whole entire line, so I really like that aspect. Especially, well, you have to have the Balmon under, but yeah, you could pretty much climb up a whole line. Skull Belushi. And then we play 3 Uka. Oh, I'm sorry. Inherited effect for this one is whenever you attack, end of attack, if your opponent has 1 or more memory, you gain a memory. So that's it for that card. I like that effect too. Uko, I played 3 Uko. Whenever you promote this up, you search your top 3 cards, you get a Tamer, and then you could add a Digimon card, and then you get to hatch an egg for your breeding area. So this card's really insane. It helps make your deck even more consistent. It helps you search pieces that you want or you want to throw in the trash. So 3 Uko, like I said, I might change this to, I'm gonna definitely change this to 4 and test it out, just because I think it might be better. We play 2 Trina. I saw some builds, people that recently topped, they were playing 3. I don't agree with that. I think 3, you see it too often. 2's the right amount of number. You kind of just want to see it. You want to see 1. 1 is, you know, not, it's too less. 4 is too much. So I think this is the perfect amount. You want to see at least 1 Tyrannomon in one of the games that you're playing. So the on-play effect is you reveal the top 4 cards, and then you get to add a Digimon with Sock in its trait, and then you get to add a Tamer as well. And then you could, whenever you pretty much add a card by his effect, you have to pitch a card from hand. So it helps fill your trash up and set up your trash. And then you play this guy. I don't want to say his name. I'm probably going to butcher it. But this guy's so good. He's probably my favorite. I wish I would have paid attention more to his second effect. I think I definitely would have won the finals if I would have paid attention to his second effect when you have a Tamer under. But let me tell you its effect, and then I'll talk about my matchups later. So on play, when Digivolving, you draw a card. I mean, well, you'll draw for Digivolution, but you'll trash a card, and then you'll draw a card. And then if it has a Tamer under, you could give one of your opponents start a turn, they have to attack. And that's one of the reasons why I should have won. Also, I made another mistake too. I forgot, I pitched the wrong card. But you play 4 with that card. Inherited effect, you get 1,000. The 1,000 actually does come up. And yeah, this card's good. I actually like this card. Whenever you attack, it has collision too, so you could force like rookies to pretty much block. Or if you have the decks in trash, you can pretty much attack. They'll have to block, and then you could pretty much go into decks to pretty much start filling up your trash. But so that's that. That's with those Digimon, and then we'll go into decks. I played 3. All turns when let's see, when one of my Durugomons would die, would be deleted by Digivolving this card without paying the cost to prevent that deletion. And then so when Digivolving, trash a card, then draw 1. If this Digimon has Durugomon in it, or also pretty much, so the normal one is if you Digivolve into this card, you get to draw 1, but if you have the level 4, you just pretty much get to pop a Digimon. And then we play 4 Soluga. I think this card's absolutely insane. All the effects of this card makes this card amazing. So when Digivolving, by trashing 2 cards in your hand, delete one of your opponent's 6k or lower Digimon. If this effect didn't delete a Digimon, you may play 1 level 4 or lower without paying the play cost from trash. All turns, this effect actually does come up. Whenever a Sock Digimon got deleted from your side of the field, this Digimon may Digivolve into if it has a Sock Tamer under, this Digimon could Digivolve into a Fenrir without the play cost from without paying its cost for the trash. So that's really good. Inherited effect is whenever your opponent has 1 or more memory, it could unsuspend. I'm not going to talk about the 1 Digivolving effect for Scolbalucci. I'm just going to tell you the effect whenever you pitch it. You pretty much could Digivolve into a Dark Animal. So literally from a Lugamon, this Lugamon, you could go into your level 4, and then your level 4, if you have let's say you don't have a level 4, you'll attack, pitch Scolbalucci, go into your level 4, pitch a card, go into, let's say you pitch the Soluga, your Soluga will go into, yeah, you're pretty much climbing the whole entire line, just with Scolbalucci and this Lugamon, with this Lugamon in the back. Or let's say you're missing the Fenrir in hand, you could just pitch this with the Solugarmon, and then go into the Fenrir, and then you just go from Tutaka into such a good card. I need a max ready this whole deck. I really like this deck a lot. And then we play 2 Helluga. Helluga's effect is end of turn, draw 2 cards, then you may return 1 Lugamon card from the trash. You may trash up to 3 cards with Dark Animal or Sock to add a level. You can pretty much essentially get to pop level 6. It's a good way to out Digimon. And there's a little combo too that I'll explain. I'll explain it right now. So you could just go. Here, let me just show you. Boom, boom. Let's say we have a line, right? see, boom. We'll just get this one. Boom, boom. We put the Tamer under. Put a Tamer under. Let's say we ended up bringing out. So we did Tirana, right? We have Skolbelucci. I know this is like you have to have a lot. So let's say that the protection card for Omnimon or whatever. You'll Tranomon. Tranomon's effect. You can pitch the Skolbelucci. Let's say you don't have a Helluga in hand. You have it in trash. You'll Digivolve this. This will Digivolve into the Helluga. Helluga's effects end of turn. Blah blah blah. You're gonna pop the level 6. Because something died. It stays pending. The Fenrir is pretty much in trash. You'll Digivolve into the Fenrir. And okay, so yeah, they'll protect their Digimon. They'll activate, but your Fenriloogamon's effect is pending, so your effect needs to resolve. Its turn player has to pretty much resolve effects. So you keep this pending. Their effect is gonna go first. You'll Digivolve into this. If you have Take, once you bring out the Pulsemon, don't activate the second effect. If you activate the second effect, that's when you pretty much mess up everything, and you'll miss timing for the Take. So you prioritize Take in trash. So you'll Digivolve into Take, and then you'll out the Omnimon on board. You could do the same thing to with Predecessor. You could do the same thing. But yeah, that's a cool little way to just pretty much out those situations. A lot of people didn't know that you could out like Predecessor and stuff like that. So it's nice that I knew. I think once you're in top table, what matters the most is knowing your rulings and stuff like that. But anyways, that's that. Showed you that little combo. We play 4 Fenrir. I've seen some builds that they do 3 of this, 4 of this. I get it. You're afraid of the Paladin. The way you play around the Paladin, you always make sure that you have 2 of these in hand. Like you have one of these with 2 in hand, and you can just pretty much start setting up your trash again. That's the way to play around it. That's the way I played around it. I've never had an issue with Paladin. I'm gonna be honest with you. Anyways, the correct one, I would say 4. You play 4 Fenrir. Fenrir's effect is when digivolving if this card has EG in its evolution cards, you may play 1 Fenriloogamon or Kazuchimon for the trash. At the end of your opponent's turn, you pretty much bounce that card back to your hand. There was actually a time where I played out 2 Fenrirs to out someone's guy's board, but that was pretty funny. But all turns, when one of your opponent's Digimon, when one of your Digimon or Tamers that has Sock or Pulsemon in its in its text is played, delete one of your opponent's 1,000 or less. Like I said, if you end up choosing to activate this effect, you could mess up the whole sequencing. That's what I pretty much realized. I ended up talking to this judge before the event started. It was like the day before the tournament, and he pretty much made me realize like how good this deck is, just because if you know how to sequence things, you could get over a lot of like interruptive effects, quotation marks around that. And yeah, I think this deck's really good because of that reason. Also, inherited effect, your opponent pretty much has to have 3 memory or more for it to be their turn. Alright, Kazuchimon, we play 3 only. 2, you don't see it often. 1, you'll never see it. 4 is too much. 3 is the perfect amount, I would say. You see it often enough that, it's in the trash. But, there's actually a time where I hard played it too. I DNA'd. That was pretty funny. And when the drawing effect is never going to come up. Inherited effect is whenever a card is trashed from security, one of your opponent's Digimon gets negative 8,000. So that's that. And then you play Take. So the judge explained to me the day before how this pretty much how Digimon works, and it made me realize just how good this card is. So I'll first read everything to you, and then I'll tell you exactly like what I'm trying to explain. So it goes, when one of your Digimon with Pulse 1 in its text is played, 2 of your Digimon may Digivolve into this card. When one of your Digimon opponents gets negative 6,000, if you DNA this Digimon, reset the memory back to 3, and then if it has a tamer under, you gain a memory. You gain a memory, or you recover 1. So really good effect. And then when attacking, you could trash the top of your security, and then it trashes the top of their security. And so if you lines, you're essentially you're trashing the security, and then you're hitting for 2 checks. So you essentially got rid of 3 security. And the sweet number, pretty much, once your opponent has 4 security, they're pretty much losing. Once you bring this guy out and you have a Digimon on board, unless they have a blocker. But even then, sometimes I know how to get over a blocker. There was a point where I actually went into 2 of these in one game, and I won that. But what I was trying to explain is, so the way this game works, and what I've noticed is that a lot of people don't. The way the judge explains it to me is that a lot of people think there's like things are interrupted, right? Or certain things will take priority over certain things. For example, like the DP minus, right? Some people think the DP minus goes first, and then so that's when you gain the overflow. No, so that's not the way that it works. First, the whole entire thing needs to finish. Your one Digimon effect needs to finish, and then the overflow mechanic will take over, and then that's when you gain back the memory. So it's important to know your rollings. Like I said, when you're in top table, that matters a lot. So yeah, there's that. There's that. Me explaining that. I play 3 the Demon Wolf of the Castle of the Nine Wolves. Did I say it right? Yeah, the Demon Wolf of the Castle of the 9 Wolves. Okay. Quick shout out. Thank you, Eagle X, for the Judge Pack card. I really appreciate you a lot. It was nice actually meeting you in person too. But back to this card. Reveal the top 3 cards. You add one card with sock from them to the hand, and then you return the rest of the bottom deck. If this card added a card from trash, if this card added a card, you trash 1 card. And then it has a delay effect. You pretty much keep it. The delay effect is you may play 1 sock Digimon, play cost reduction cost by 2. The security effect does the same thing as the main effect does, but this is essentially like Scramble. Scramble is way more broken, I would say, but this does essentially the same thing for Scramble. You could play. There's actually a game where I popped this card. The guy misplayed. He ended up going to fighter mode. I don't know why. I would have just stayed into dragon mode. I didn't have nothing raising up, and I was relying on this card to pretty much go off for me to win the game. But I ended up popping this card, bringing back my Lugamon, Digivolving for 2. Went into Soul Luga. I had the Skull Bellucci in hand. Pitched the Skull Bellucci. My bad. I made sure the tamer was under before I did all these things. But went into Soul Luga. Soul Luga brought back a Digimon. Went into my Fenrir. I didn't pop anything with my Fenrir. After that, I went into pretty much I DNA'd into this guy, outed his Digimon, attacked, trashed the top card of my security, swung for 2 checks, trashing their top card security, swinging for 2 checks, attacked, and then I trashed my card, and then I won because of that reason. When I was looking at the builds, I was like, seeing the ones that recently topped, I saw people playing only 2 of this card. I thought that was wrong. I think this card's really good. So I ended up playing 3. It always came up. Besides that one time, I was able to do something like that. Also, sometimes it gave me a Digimon that I could alliance with. Or sometimes I wanted to choke my opponent at 1 memory, so I would pop this card, and then I would bring out a Tyrannomon to just pretty much set up my trash and then find pieces that I need. Or just cycle through my deck, because there's certain times where I was drawing like mediocre stuff that I didn't really want to draw into. The card's really good. Then we play Youth. Youth's such a good card. Should go to 1. No, I'm kidding. It's such a great card. Anyway, so on play, you reveal the top 3 cards. You get to add 1. But if you're me, you always trash 2 Tamers and then an option card, so you don't get to add anything. And then it's alternate effect is whenever you have a level 5 or higher Digimon, you can tap this card. If that Digimon's deleted, you can tap this card to gain a memory, and then you end up hatching an egg. So that's a way that you could pretty much manipulate the memory towards your favor whenever you do Helluga. You play 4. It's mandatory to play 4, I would say. When I first was making this build, I was playing 3 this EG. EG is pretty much start a turn. If your opponent has a Digimon on board, you gain a memory. I really liked it because of that aspect. But I do think the correct move is to play for this one. This is your memory setter, and it's so nice for this deck to have a memory setter. Sometimes you would only have these, and then you would gain as much memory as, you know, how many you had of these on board, or unless you're playing Matt. I didn't play Matt, so well, they both have the same inherit effect. So if the Digimon has Dark Animal or Sock under, you could put it under the Digimon, and then you could attack, and it has an alliance, and then it has blocker as well. And so the deck actually has reboot, so it's actually pretty cool. There's actually times where your Digimon will reboot, and then you have a pretty much essentially a blocker on board. I will explain how I lost on the finals. Again, I will tell you guys what was my mistake, but that's the build. I'll go into my matchups real quick. I don't want this video to be too long. Let me see. Okay, Mesquite's Regionals. So round 1, I played against black base decks. I don't know what that deck does at all, and I just pretty much game 1 I drew BT15 Lugamon. It was BT50 Lugamon, an Ukomon, and then another Ukomon, and then it was like mediocre stuff in hand. And then so I just pretty much went Ukomon, choking him at 1. I went first. He left me at 2 memory. I promoted up. I searched. I think I got an EG Tamer. I got this one. And then I went Ukomon in the back, the BT15 one, and then I hard played another Ukomon. And then the guy ended up giving me a lot of memory. I don't know why. So when I ended up promoting up, I just ended up finding all my pieces and Permenso TKM turn 3. I'm trying to think. Game 2. I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember that matchup. That matchup finished really quickly. I just remember after that matchup, I was watching somebody play Mother Shoto next to me, so I understood the game. So I could understand how to play against that matchup. I was watching that one, and then I was watching a Gallimon player play against 7 Demon. I feel bad for the Gallimon player, but that was round 1. Round 2, I played against a black hybrid Mother Shoto. Round 1, he just gave me too much memory, so I Permenso TK him. I think game 2 he was like already annoyed. I remember he went into the hybrid, the one that forces you to attack. He targeted this card. This kind of annoyed me, just because I think you should live and die by your decisions, not try to take back stuff. So he targeted this card. I had a Soul Lugamon, pretty much. I had this, and then I think I had an Uka. Yeah, this was like one board. And then I had a Lugamon in my back. He was just chilling. So this was in raising. I had a Tyrannomon. I'm tripping. It was Tyranna. Where are you at, Tyranna? There we go. This was like my board stay, and then obviously this had all the sources. This had a line too. I put back my Tamers. This didn't. This had a Tamer still to block. He pointed at this for this to attack, and then when it became my turn, I didn't promote up my Lugamon. I thought that would be a bad play if I were to do that. So he targeted this. No. I was like, he's like, started turn effect. Your Soul Luga has to attack, and I'm like, you point at this card though. He literally did this. He did it with his finger. He did this. This attacks, and I was like, okay. I'm like, dude, you point at the Take, and he's like, no, I point at the Soul Lugar. I was like, all right, whatever. I don't really care. He pretty much lost that turn, so it didn't even matter. Yeah, so that was game 2. He got 2-0'd. Okay, game 3. That's the one where it's kind of a nail biter where the guy misplayed. Game 1, I steamrolled him. I can't really tell you about game 1. Game 2, came down to the wire. I made one crucial mistake by not keeping a rookie in the back. Oh no, I should have held Lugud to pretty much pop and set up for another to pretty much have a Digimon to promote up, and I didn't do that. So instead I pretty much lost from that point because I didn't have a Wolf Castle. I didn't have this option card on board, so I couldn't really do much. So I just scooped it up. I was like, I could survive for one more turn, but it doesn't matter because the next turn I'm just gonna die. So because he has I think the turn before I hit into two Tamers, two what was it, two Ken and Davis. I mean, two Davis and Ken. So he got pretty lucky because of that reason. Game 3, same thing. When I attacked, I hit into two of them, and then I hit into an option card that he really wanted in hand. Oh no, it was predecessor. I hit into a predecessor. So his turn, he did all his stuff right. He ended up leaving me at one memory. I mean, at one security, or I think 2 security. And then because he attacked, unsuspend, attacked, he attacked, went into dragon mode, digivolved. He attacked with his dragon mode, and then he digivolves his fighter mode into his dragon mode into fighter mode to bottom deck my this guy and then this guy. I don't know why he did that, but he wanted to bottom deck both of them. That was the incorrect play. I had this and I had this. I didn't have a Digimon promoting up, so I had this. And then I had where are the Tamers? Boom, boom. I had this pretty much. This was my board state. I was going my turn. I hatched. I think I just digivolved in the back to see what I would draw. Popped this card. Went into another Lugamon. Put this under Lugamon. Went this card. Told him that his Digimon's gonna need an attack next turn, but didn't matter because I was gonna kill it. Went into that. Went into this card. This card's a fuck. I had this in trash already. Pretty much had everything in trash. I trashed this card, and then I think I trashed a Lugamon. Digivolving into this. This brought out this. DNA'd. Went into my boy. Where's my boy at? Went into Take. And then I just commenced to OTK on that turn. I brought back a level 3. I think it was a Lugamon. Yeah, I brought back a level 3 from the Soul Lugar effect, but yeah, so that was round 3, so that's why he lost. Round 4 was weird. It was table 1. This is when I was so I was bottom table round 1, and then I was 1 through 5 the rest of the tournament. So Mother Shoto, I think I was like table 4 or 5. For this Imperialdramon matchup, I think I went down to 13. So yeah, I went to number 9. I think table 9. Sorry. And then from then on, I stayed in top from 1 through 5. Played Imperial. My opponent showed up. He told me that he already had a game 1 loss because they deck checked him and he had certain cards in his deck that weren't supposed to be in his deck, and then he had cards I think in his deck box too. I called the judge over because I didn't want to win that way. I think that would have been a lame way to win. So I called the judge over. I talked to Jess and I told Jess if that was true, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, that did happen." Blah blah blah. So I pretty much we played 1 game. I high rolled him. I killed him turn 3, and then so that was round 4. Round 5, something similar happened to my opponent too. But this is after I played him. Game 1, he gave me too much memory. He hard played something for 8 memory, and then I had 2 EGs, the old one, the BT14. So I ended up gaining 2 memory. So I won. I won that one right after. Once I promoted up my Lugamon, I just pretty much OTK'd him. Game 2, he didn't predecessor at all. And the way I sequenced it, well, it didn't matter how I sequenced it because he didn't predecessor. So he pretty much lost game 2. He was really upset about that. I get it too, because I was upset with myself too when I lost in the finals, because I lost. I don't think it had nothing to do with the player. I lost because of myself. I didn't lose because of the player. I think I was good enough to the point where I could have piloted, but after you eventually got to misplay, like throughout the tournament, you got to make 1 mistake. Yeah, so after that, they deck checked us. He ended up not having any eggs in his build that he submitted, so they were gonna give him a round 1 loss, and then he just decided to drop after that because he can't play without eggs. Yeah, so that was unfortunate. Round 5, I ended up playing against the guy that ended up getting Angel. He's one of the Puerto Rican players that tends to come over here. and him and his team always tends to top events. I ended up playing him. It was pretty fun playing him and talking to him. And that was a 2-0. I ended up, my hand was really bad. I drew these. I just remember having these 3 cards, and then the cards that were like irrelevant. I remember just playing this. He choked me like at 2. I hard dropped this. Next turn I dropped this, and I just started to rookie rush him. I think he hit into one of my Tamers, and then from there I just promoted up, tucked it under, and then from there I just prevent still TK him. Sorry about the noise. It's pretty loud over here right now. Yeah, but I won with a really bad hand. Round 1. I mean game 1. Game 2. He said that the turn before I won, like I think. I think it was like a turn like 2 or 3 turns. He could have done something differently that could have turned the favor towards him, but he ended up making a misplay. I'm sorry, I don't know why my neighbors are like this. But yeah, I won 2-0, and then after that I ended up, this is where I think it should have been the finals, because me and the other guy were undefeated. It was Imperialdramon again. Game 1, he got turn 3 OTK'd. Game 2, game 2, my hand was really bad. I ended up mulliganing my hand. I had rookies and stuff to do, I guess, certain things, but I think against Imperial you kind of want to start the broken hand, which is like an Ukamon, at least an Ukamon, and then a Youth. I think those are the 2 cards that you want to have in your opening hand, especially against Imperialdramon. I didn't have either, so I decided to mulligan, and I ended up just drawing like level 5, 6, one of the option cards, and then a Tamer. And I just once I drew into my second card and I saw it was another Solugar, I just decided to scoop it up. I wasn't gonna play that out. It would have been a waste of my time if I were to play that game out. And it also would have been a waste of time to my opponent. I'd rather just go to game 3 and just start playing game 3. Game 3, I was about to deck out. I just cycled through my deck really quickly. So I was about to deck out, and he couldn't find a level 4, and I ended up winning that game. I remember, I think in the beginning turn, I attacked with one of my Ukamons, and I hit into Gigadeath, so that, I guess that's pretty good, because I didn't want to hit into Gigadeath. But that was round 7. The final round, which was round 8. Game 1, I high rolled them. I pretty much had Ukamon, Youth, and Lugamon. You just win that game. You can't lose with that hand. If you end up losing with that hand, then there's something wrong. Game 2, I ended up hard playing a Helluga, and my mistake was not pitching an extra card, because I know next turn he was gonna promote up. That was my mistake. I thought that he wasn't going to draw the nuts, because it was like, I think, turn 4, but he ended up having everything, I guess, he needed to pretty much OTK me. Well, yeah, he had everything that he needed to OTK me, so that's the way, unfortunately, it goes sometimes. So I lost game 2. Game 3, literally, I made a mistake. I promoted up, put my EG under, went into this guy, I drew, and then I trash a Kazuchimon. I don't know why I did that. I should have paid attention to my trash a lot more, because I looked at my trash, I saw that there was a level 4. It looked exactly like the way the Dex card looks like. So I was like, oh, okay, so I could attack into his Digimon. And I'll be fine. I have a Skull Belucci in hand if he decides, because I read that he had an ace. I knew that he had an ace. So I was like, it was this, and then where's the EG that I had under? It was this EG. He hit into the 2 of these. So my board state was bam, bam, and then I had another Tamer. Okay, please. Where's the other Tamer? My board state was 2 of these. Boom. It was like something like this. Yeah, my board state was something like this. I attacked. I didn't have that, so I just ended up dying, and then so I scooped it up, and I got mad. I grabbed my cards and I just threw them, because I was upset. I was upset at myself. Like that matchup, I think it's literally I think Mirage is easy to pilot. I think Dex is pretty easy to pilot at all. Like you're just searching your pieces until you go burr. This deck, it's purple. I think all purple decks you have to know how to sequence things. And you got to know what's in your trash. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I didn't pitch this, but the right play. A lot of people told me just to go into Take. Take would have been the right play. I mean, I forgot to tell you what he trashed. He ended up trashing these two cards, which is definitely a misplay. He needs to trash the Balmon, but he didn't. So I should have when I attacked, and then let's say I did trash this, right? Which I unfortunately didn't. I would have done this, popped his rookie that was suspended. After that, I would have. It's because I wanted to bait out the ace. I knew he had the ace, so I wanted to bait it out. So after that, I could have just tucked this under. Because the starter turn, right? I was going to target the level 4. I completely forgot about that. That's the reason why I did that play. That's why it's important to remember your starter turn effect for the level 4 when you have the Tamer under. Going to Soluga. I had this one in trash. This is the card that was in trash instead of the Dex, which upsetted me. Could have done this, brought back out this. He would have most likely promoted up. I feel like most of the time he was just trying to just attack for game. So he would have just promoted up, add 0 security. So his Mirage would have attacked, I would have blocked, and then I would have tapped 2. So overflowing, it would go to 3 memory. So we're at 0, and then I would tap 2 of these to pass me back to turn. After that, I would attack. Oh yeah, I would attack his security. He's gonna have to block, so his Digimon dies now. And then after that, I could just play the Tyrannomon I had in hand. Well, I'll Digivolve obviously a Lugamon in back, and then I'll hard play the Tyrannomon, choking him at 1. So there, now he needs to either hard play level 5 to ace me again or something like that. But I didn't. I made a mistake. I forgot to look at my trash, so I lost because of that reason. It's the way the game works. You gotta pay attention to your effects. But this video is getting a little bit too long, so I'm just gonna go straight to the shoutouts. I want to shout out my team members, Team Local Warriors. You guys are awesome. Thank you for lending me the cards I needed to play the deck, because I did buy some of the stuff. I just I honestly made this deck last minute. I had 0 playtesting in going into this. I consider it 0 playtesting because I only went to 1 locals, which was a 4-man locals. So no, 6-man locals. So not much playtesting there. Shout out to Enrique, my best friend. We ended up going after work. We ended up getting some food, and we're just playtesting. To be honest, he was playing Commandramon, so it's not much of a playtest, but I just appreciate, hanging out and me getting to know my deck a little bit better, how to sequence things. Well, learning how to use my trash and Balmon's effect to go up a line. I got to, figure that out. The night before, the day that I got there, well, the Friday, I met up with my friends, Luis, Philip, and the boy, John. John's pretty cool. Yeah, me and Luis shouldn't be allowed in a room. Like we're too funny. We're very sarcastic. But I got to play against Philip. Philip was playing Royal Knights, so I got to practice some Royal Knights. It's like whatever, if I'm being honest with you. It's not really a meta deck. It's more of a sleeper deck that catches people off guard. And then I ended up playing Security Control. I played somebody there that was going to take Security Control. So I learned how to play against that matchup. After that, I ended up playing, I forget his name, but he was so funny. He was such a cool dude. It was his first time going to a regionals. Really nice guy. But I played 2 games. I mean, I played 2 matches with him. One game I played as Red Hybrid, and then the other time I played the Cinderella deck. And then the day of the tournament, I ended up playing Luis, and he was playing the same build. Not the same deck, but a different build. He was playing more of the Lugamon level 4 lineup. So I got practice against that deck, and then I ended up playing against. No, that's it. No more playtesting. I think what mattered was the conversation I had with Judge Jess. He pretty much taught me how Digimon's actually played, like understanding rulings, effects, there's such things as interruptive effects, but you could bypass interruptive effects as long as you have a when Digimon effect. Because it's turn player gets priority over the opponent. So essentially, I think I already explained it, but I'll explain it one more time. So you could say this is the lineup. I'll just need a random Loogamon. Need this. No, where are we? Boom. I need just a random Kazuchi. There we go. And then a Holuga. Where's Holuga? Okay. So let's say they have predecessor, or they have what's that card called? Predecessor or whether they have predecessor or that other card. I forget what the card is called. The Omnimon card. So you essentially could do this. Sorry, I'm trying to pay attention to how it goes. Okay, so you'll pitch 2 cards. You'll activate the effect of Soul Lugar. Let's say you still have your turn. You hard play this for 7, so now you're giving your opponent 7 memory. You draw 2 cards. You end up pitching. Let's say you're playing against Omnimon. You'll pitch the 3 cards to kill it. Because a Sock Digimon died, this is pending. Your Digimon will pretty much your opponent's Digimon will activate. The predecessor will go through. Not predecessor. The Omnimon card will activate. And then this effect takes over before their when Digivolving activates. And then you'll Digivolve, draw your card for Digivolution. This will get played out because your when Digivolving effect. If you choose to activate the second effect, after the second effect resolves, right? Let's say you popped a Greymon on board, or let's say you did this against what is that deck called? Imperial, right? After that effect resolves, this your opponent's when Digimon effect needs to resolve, and then this will activate if the Digimon's still on board. That's why it's important to you'll prioritize this effect, so you'll DNA, and then now you have another when Digimon effect, so your when Digimon effect needs to activate. But yeah, that's what I learned. That's the way Jess explained things. Also, when Digimon effects need to finish entirely, and then that's when the mechanics take over. That's when mechanic effects will activate right after. So if you're deleting something or overflow happens, it happens after your when Digimon effects are done. What else did I learn? Oh yeah, having that conversation with Jess was really cool, so shout out to him. He's such a cool judge. A lot of the judges there were really cool. Recognize a lot of the people too, from other stores and stuff. What else? Let's shout out some shops. GX, great shop. Locals has kind of been like dying out, but I literally go just for the people there. I think all the people there are awesome, very funny people to hang out with, and very tight-knit community. But we're very helpful towards each other. We tend to help each other out. Like I said, I wouldn't have been able to make this deck if it wasn't for my teammates / the people that go to the locals. So I appreciate them for letting me cards. Most of the high rarity stuff is mine, but like 2 of the Takes aren't even mine. I need to pick up Takes. But shout out to GX, the store owner Hamed. He's cool too. What else? We're gonna shout out. We're gonna go in order, right? Table 1. Table 1 was one of the first locals I started to attend. A lot of the people there stopped playing Digimon, but cool. They're really cool people. Cool store. I really enjoyed it. I was really good friends with one of the people that kind of owns the shop or works at the shop. He's really cool. His name's Danny. Danny's really cool. Shout out to Danny. What else? We're gonna shout out Collector Legions. A lot of the great players, played there. Kyle Kemper, Jose Medbay. I forgot the guy's name that would always play purple, but there are people that would always top the Digimon events or win them, so they're pretty cool people. Also, a lot of the other people there, like my boy Miggs, Jonathan, Ray. You guys are awesome. Very cool people to hang outside outside of Digimon and outside of locals. What else? Cycle Turtle. Honestly, a lot of great players too there. A lot of the people always top events. Recently, one of them got top 5. Well, 2 people got top 16 in the Riverside tournament regionals. What else? Oh, we can't forget about my boy Onion. Onion has I think he won a store regionals, if I remember correctly, and then he topped one of the first events when they were giving out the Omnis. What else? What else locals I go to? Oh, Core TCG. Their locals always feel like mini regionals. Project CCG. My boy Jonathan, he's such a cool dude. It's nice always seeing him there at the store. Also, that community is really cool. Wildcard Cyclone, gotta shout them out. Everyone that goes there too. My boys at DXN, they're really cool. And last but not least, Segoy. I wish Segoy wasn't that far, but I absolutely love that shop. It's one of my favorite shops. I just like I like all the people there that go there, and then just I don't like saying the words, but the vibes feel really nice there. It's such a cool place. But that's the end of the video for sure. The video's already getting too long. I just want to say before I end it, I hope everyone's having a great day and everyone's taking care of themselves, and I hope that we continue to grow this community. We're going into BT20 pretty well. It's gonna be 19, 18, and then we're gonna get 20. 20 is the one I'm really excited for. So more support either for this deck, where I get to play Alphamon. And yeah, I think Digimon's a great spot where they're releasing a lot of product, and the community seems to be growing a lot more. And so far, a lot of the people that play this game are very helpful towards each other. I think that's the best way to grow a community, right? So I hope Digimon stays that way, where we keep helping each other out. We just keep growing. I want this game to keep growing. I like the community a lot. Everyone's really nice. Everyone's really friendly. But with that being said, I hope everybody had a great day. Please take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Bye.